Hello and welcome back to Budgets, Bargains and BS. I'm Gemma and today we are doing a bit of a different video. So what I'm going to be doing is looking at what my bill might be when my tariff ends. When we bought our home in June 2021, we set up our British Gas account and we fixed our tariff until April 2023. So we've still got a few months left on that tariff, but I thought it would be really good to have a look at what the change will be when it comes to our payments. I am currently trying to overpay so that we can kind of build up a big credit in there, but it's good to sort of plan in advance and see what we might need to do and adjust come April. So yeah, that's what we're going to run through today. So starting off then, we will look at what my current payments and my current tariff is. So my electricity, I currently pay 16.854 pence per kilowatt hour and my standing charge is 19.494 pence per day. Now, for this purpose, what we're going to do is compare my most recent bill, which was from the 28th of June to the 6th of December, which is 162 days, and I used 631 kilowatt hours, and my total bill was £144.82 for electricity. So currently I pay £40 a month for my electricity. And yeah, that is covering what I need. So with my gas then, I pay 3.149 pence per kilowatt hour. My standing charge is 16.056 pence per day. And my most recent bill was from the 7th of July to the 6th of December, which is 153 days. And in that, I used 79 units and my total bill was £55.16. With my gas, I pay £20 a month, and yeah, it is covering my usage up to now. So then, we'll pop that to one side and we'll come back to that in a minute. So what we're going to look at is the current standard variable tariff on British Gas. Of course, by the time it gets to April, this might have changed. And also, me personally, I will try and fix my tariff for as long as possible. So if there is a tariff available which is fixed until, let's say, 2024 or 2025, I personally will pick that tariff. But yeah, just for this example, we are going to use the current standard variable tariff. So for electricity then, like I said, in that time frame between the 28th of June to the 6th of December, I used 631 kilowatt hours. Now, the current price for that is 32.808 pence per kilowatt hour. So when we times that together, times by 32.808, gives us, bear with, 20,701,848. Now we have to divide that by 100 to convert it from pence to pounds, and that gives us £207, and we're going to round that up to 2 pence just to make it a bit easier. And it's always better to round up than round down, just in case. So like I said, there was 162 days on the previous bill, and the standing charge for that is 45.769 pence per day. So we do 162 times by 45.769, which gives us 7,414. 7,414.578. again, divide that by 100 to convert it into pounds is £74.15, because again, we're going to round that up to 15. Now, I'm not sure if the figures that I've got here are including VAT or excluding VAT. I'm not quite sure. However, just to be on the safe side, we are going to add the VAT on, because yeah, I don't think that will include VAT. So we'll take 207.2, add 74.15, and then we're going to divide that by 10 and by 10 again, which gives us 1%, and then we need to times it by 5 because we need 5%. So that is £14, and again we're going to round that up to 6p. When we add all that up together, the VAT, the standing charge, and the actual usage, that gives us a total bill of £295.23. So we'll just compare that for a start. Okay, so comparing that to the old bill of 144, you can see that it's a bit more than double the price that it was for June to December. So yeah, that's quite shocking, isn't it? It's not great, but you know, that's why we've got to do this planning and preparing, so that we're not in a bit of a pickle when it comes to April. So going on to gas then, gas is a little bit more complicated, and also gas is one of those that might be different or worked out different for each individual person. Electric, I think, is quite a simple one, unless you've got a economy 7 meter, then yeah, that's economy 7 meters are completely different as well. But yeah, we're going to work on gas now. Obviously, this is for my personal gas usage. Like I said, double check with your supplier how your gas bill is calculated. So we use 79 units of gas, but we need to convert that to kilowatt hours. So we're just going to do that on a separate piece of paper. So we used 79 units, and to get that into kilowatt hours, first of all, if you have an imperial meter, you'll need to convert that to metric. In order to convert it to metric, you'll need to times the units by 2.83. Now mine is already in metric, so I don't need to do that part, but yeah, check if you have an imperial or metric meter. So because I'm skipping that part, I just need to times it by 1.02264, which is the volume correction factor. And then we have to times it by 39.6, which is the calorific value. Now, the correction factor, the volume correction factor, doesn't change. That will be the same for everybody. The calorific value will change. That will be shown on your bill. It should say somewhere where your calorific value is. And then we divide it by 3.6, which is the kilowatt hour conversion factor. And that will give us kilowatt hours, basically. That might confuse people, but yeah, I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. 3.6 divided by, which gives us 888.674. We're going to miss off the last two. So that is now how many kilowatt hours we used throughout July to December. So we can bring this sheet back and we can pop that up here, 888.674. for. That's really squished together, but never mind. And we can get rid of that sheet because we don't need that now. So we've converted it from units to kilowatt hours. Now we're going to times it by the current price, which is 10.237 pence. 888.674, sorry, times by 10.237 pence, which gives us 9,097.35. Divide that by 100 to convert it into pounds, and we've got £90 and 97 pence. Perfect. So that's how much the gas would cost. Then we can come on to standing charge. So we've got 153 days, and the current standing charge price is 28.485 pence per day. 135 times by 28.485, which gives us 4,358.205. Again, dividing that by 100, which gives us £43 and 59 pence. Perfect. Again, VAT. I'm sorry if I'm doing this way too quick, but yeah, because I've already got it worked out at the side, probably shouldn't rush it as much as I am. So we've got £90.97, add £43.59, divide that by 10, divide that by 10 again. So that is 1% VAT. We need to times that by 5 to get us 5% VAT, and that is £6.73. Oh, add that all up. So VAT, add the standing charge, add the price per kilowatt hour, and that gives us a total bill of £141.29. So again, we'll compare that to what it is costing on the old price. So it cost us £55.16, and with the new standard variable tariff, it would be 141. So that's pretty close to triple, isn't it? Triple the price. Crikey. Yeah, that's a shock. It's a lot, isn't it? Okay. So obviously your usage varies depending on the time of the year. Obviously you use more gas and electricity in winter than you will in the summer. And I also just want to start by saying that obviously everybody's usage is completely different. Me and my husband both work full time. So, you know, when one of us is out of the house, the other one might be in, and vice versa. And the usage is going to be a lot more for people who might work from home, people who are stay-at-home parents, people who have like hot tubs, that sort of thing. Obviously, everyone's usage is different. Everyone's house is different. I know a lot of people now are becoming quite savvy with, you know, saving on gas and electricity, only using it when they need. I was previously a customer service advisor for British Gas. This was about 5 years ago, I want to say, maybe 6. I don't know. It was a while ago. And you know what? I really enjoyed it. It was a really good job to have, to be honest. And we learned a lot about, obviously, how to save money. And this was well before this cost of living crisis. It was well before the pandemic. And even then, they, you know, taught us these things on, you know, how to save money on your gas and electricity. So I like to think that I'm quite savvy already, and I know how to save a bit of money when it comes to gas and electricity. Now, I did mention before that if there is a fixed tariff, when I come to switch my tariff, I will go on to that. Currently, I believe the fixed tariff is actually more expensive than the variable. Now, in the past, fixed tariff was always cheaper than variable. And that was the reason why I fixed my tariff. The reason that I would fix my tariff now is because this past year has proven that things just change so dramatically, so quickly, without any planning or time to prepare. Obviously, I was very lucky that I'd fixed my tariff prior to all of this happening. But I honestly believe, for me personally, I would much rather have the fixed tariff in place than stay on a variable tariff that might shoot up again, you know, at the end of this year or the beginning of next year, etc., etc. That is just my personal opinion. Now, one thing that I do want to say, which this might have changed, and I am obviously speaking from my knowledge of working as a customer service advisor for British Gas several years ago. So don't quote me on this, and definitely check with your provider before you take what I'm about to say as gospel. But as far as I'm aware, and especially with British Gas, if you go onto a fixed tariff, okay, so let's say you decide, okay, I want to go onto a fixed tariff right now. And then you find out in 2 months' time that there is a cheaper tariff available. You can switch between those tariffs without having to pay any exit fees. As long as you stay with the same provider and switch to just a different tariff, you are free to do so. A lot of the times when people called up, they would say, oh, how much is the exit fee going to be because I want to switch provider? And I would say to them, look, switch to variable. That way, it's free to switch to variable. You don't have any exit fees. Once you're on variable, you can then leave with no exit fees. I wasn't somebody who I wasn't a salesperson, so, you know, keeping customers obviously was a priority, but at the same time, I wasn't going to try and sell it to people to stay, you know what I mean? So I would always tell them, look, it's free to switch to variable. You'll get no exit fees charged. And then from variable, you can switch providers. So that's why I would do it. A lot of people get confused when it says exit fees on a tariff. When it comes to British Gas, when it comes to switching between the same provider, switching tariffs, as far as I'm aware, it's free to do so. You don't get charged those exit fees. So I could fix my tariff in April, and let's say, I don't know, miraculously, a cheaper option comes available. I can switch to that with no extra charges. But yeah, like I said, double check that. Don't take my word 100%. And like I said, it is just my personal opinion. I would rather personally pay a little bit more. I mean, if it's drastically more, then obviously not. But I would personally rather pay a little bit more on a fixed tariff than to stay on variable, given the fact that things have just changed rapidly over the past year. Yeah, so let's look at payments then, and the plan of paying, what my payments are going to look like. So on the bill, obviously, it was 162 days. The average month has got 30 days, hasn't it? So that gives us about 5.4 months. So for this example, we're rounding that up to 6 months. Previously, I was paying £40 a month. Over 6 months, that would give us £240. Now, my old bill totaled £144.82, which means that this would cover my old bill, and there would be about £100 left over in credit. However, with the new tariff, that wouldn't cover the bill. The bill for the new tariff was £295.23. So it would mean that we'd then be in a debit. So the plan now is to pay £50 a month. Over the 6 months, that would total £300, which would just about cover that new bill. So it's not going to leave me the credit that this used to. But we'll get into that in a minute. So for gas then, it was 153 days, average month of 30 days, gives us 5.1 months. So we're going to just round that down to 5 months. Previously I was paying £20 a month, which totaled £100. My old tariff, my old bill came to £55.16. So again, that covered that bill and left a credit in my account. So that was good. However, with the new prices, £141.29, that would again leave me in a debit of about £40 if I continued to pay just £20. Whereas if I switch it up to £30 a month, it would mean that I paid £150, and that would cover the new bill total. But again, it's not going to leave any credit, so we'll get into that in a second. Currently, on my electricity account, I have £318.49 worth of credit, and on my gas, I have £215.24. Now, the likelihood is sometime this year, they are probably going to send me that money back. Again, as far as I'm aware, don't take this as gospel, but as far as I'm aware, if there's a substantial amount of credit on the account when your annual bill is produced, they will send whatever isn't needed, whatever their systems calculate to say we don't need that money, they will send it automatically back. It's just an automated thing. It's not somebody sat at a computer doing it. It is just their systems. So what I would do in that case, if they sent me this credit back, I would then just make a manual payment and put that money back onto that account, which you are well within your rights to do, and leave it there for, obviously, to keep rolling over. Now, the way in which I plan on, switching up my payments is by doing this. So I plan to pay £60 a month on my electricity and £40 a month on my gas. So that's a little bit more than what we just talked about here. It's £10 more on each, which will mean I pay £100 a month. So that should cover my bill and also put me in a teeny tiny bit of credit as well. And I'm going to do that until about August time. I'm obviously going to review this again, mid-year, but I'm going to probably do that till about August. And then from August, I'm going to up it another £10 per the electricity and gas, to £70 a month and £50 a month, bringing it to £120 a month. Now, of course, if the standard variable tariff price changes between now and April, I will obviously have to change my plan. But this plan right now should make sure that I continue to keep a good credit in my account, just in case anything happens. It's there as a backup, and that's my goal, is just to keep that backup. Of course, over the next couple of months, January, I'd say until maybe like March time, we are obviously going to continue to use a bit more electricity and gas than normal, given that it's winter still. But again, that credit's there just to sort of work as that buffer. And yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes to plan. We can pay the £100 a month, and that should cover us until the price changes. So I've already started paying £100 a month as of January. So up until December 2022, I was paying £60 a month. From January onwards, I'm paying £100. Of course, my tariff doesn't actually change until April, so we're just going to keep building that credit up until then. But hopefully I didn't confuse you guys and I managed to get my point across. But yeah, hopefully that made sense. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye.